Oh, they're my fellow epilepsy warriors, my purple warriors, and people with seizure disorders also. I've not been diagnosed with epilepsy, such as myself and a lot of others out there. So we're going to talk about people that epilepsy and dating. I know it sounds interesting. So myself, I've been married almost be 22 years in November. So just for informational purposes only. All right, I'm no expert on dating or anything like that. Not everything I saying here is for information. So if you need to seek any medical advice or anything like that, seek that from your medical team, doctors or professions or whatever. There's resources out there to help you out. What can you do if you're out there on dating with your somebody you never met before or you've been with for a while? How do you approach them if you never told them that you have epilepsy or some type of seizure disorders? So I'm just going to go over here a few things about it. All right, about epilepsy and dating, and this may help you, it may help you not. I understand a lot of you guys out there, and I see a lot of people comments that life's over. How am I going to be able to date? How am I going to drive? How do I tell them? How do I approach the people? How do they understand me? Whatever. When's the right time to tell them? I tell them right away or not, or so, or when. In my personal opinion, my humble opinion, is best to be honest up front all the time, no matter what. If they're willing to meet with you and do that, and you're honest with them, and they stay with you for your date, then that's a pretty good sign that you know maybe they want to develop a relationship with you or something, possibly, or not. It's hard to say. They may not be educated on epilepsy, or maybe you could date somebody that has epilepsy themselves. Whatever. I know it sounds kind of funny. I'm sure there are people like that. Or whatever. But anyway, so a few things for epilepsy and dating. I'm just reading off over here. So obviously, dating with epilepsy does present unique considerations, obviously, but it's entirely impossible to have a fulfilling, enjoyable dating life. So I'm going to break down some key aspects over here. All right. So I'm talking about disclosure and communication. All right. So you want them to know. You want to welcome them up front. Like I said, my personal opinion, but over here when I'm reading might say something different. But you always should let people know up front disclosure and information communication. So when do you close? Well, it says there's no single right time, but like I said, I would say it right up front and tell them right away, because then you can get a feel for that person right away if they're willing to stay with you or go on another date with you, possibly. Like I said, though, I'm married. I'm married for going to be married for 22 years in November. So there's no single right time according to this. Some people prefer to be upfront early on, especially if seizures are frequent or uncontrolled, which is understandable because you want them to know, because you don't want your date to freak out, obviously, and say, well, no, what's happening? What's going on to this person? Why they do this? Or why they acting so hurt or strange? Or why are they shaking on the ground or whatever? Or their eyes are closed or they're staring out in space and they're just not even thinking or looking at me. Others may wait until they feel more comfortable and a connection has formed, which that's very understandable. Until there's a connection that has formed, of course. Why not? Um, and others, and how to disclose. How do you disclose that to that person? Well, you gotta be confident, not be afraid. Just basically be straightforward with them. Tell them right up front when sharing about your epilepsy. Tell them you have epilepsy and tell them, why you have it or how you got it or you don't know how you got it. Explain what it is, how it affects you, and what to do if you have a seizure. So that way you let your partner or the person you're dating, you let them know what to do in case of an emergency. You don't know. So say if you're out on a date at a movie theater or a restaurant or whatever, and all of a sudden, boom, you're having an epileptic seizure, of some type or some type of seizure disorder going on, seizures of any type. They don't know what to do. It's going to be scary for them and traumatic because they're going to think, whoa, what's going on here with my date? So let them know up front, obviously. So you want to let them know what to do. All communication is always good, especially like for me. I'm married, almost been married for 22 years. I said open communication is very good key, actually. Honest and ongoing communication is crucial, very crucial. Don't lie to them or anything. I've lied before, and it doesn't do good because you got to keep track of your lies. Just be honest up front. You know it may hurt them, possibly. Like, well, I don't want to. I'm sorry, or they may hurt you. I'm sorry, I can't handle this or whatever. but at least they're being respectful and that they're telling you that no, I'm sorry. And then at least they're letting you know, and that goes a long way for you also being respectful back and forth. No, it's two-way communications. And share your feelings, concerns with them, and needs with your partner or your person you're dating with, also, and be open to discussing theirs as well. Obviously, as I just mentioned. So let them know what's going on with you. You know, boy or girl, whichever one has the seizures. Now, if you both have seizures, epileptics, then you guys probably have something in common you can talk about. But so maybe you both can talk about how they handle each other's situations. So educate your date basically. Explain what epilepsy is. Dispel common myths like, oh, we're crazy, we're crackheads, we're this, we do this on purpose, and any of that, and address any fears or misconceptions they may have. Because as we know, all of us as epileptic people know that there are many myths out there about epilepsy people saying we're faking it and we're just doing it for attention and they don't believe us or they don't have epilepsy at all, which is not true. We do. We have no control of what our body does when it shuts down. Teach seizure first aid. Ensure your date knows how to respond if you have a seizure, including what to do and what not to do. All right. Like into a safe spot or somewhere where you need to be. That's so you're not gonna hit your head on something or bump into it or fall or bite your tongue more than you really have to or whatever. Build a support system. Connect with others who understand epilepsy through support groups or online communities like my epilepsy team, which is a good place to start, or epilepsy.com. Also, address potential challenges. Driving restrictions. Epilepsy may affect your ability to drive, so plan for alternative transportation. Let them know that. Say, I'm sorry, I can't drive or anything like that due to my medical condition, something like that, epilepsy. And tell them right, be upfront. I know it's embarrassing and it's very hard to do that because you don't want them to you don't want them to know that at first. Like I don't want to tell them or be sick or anything like that. And then, but if you do that, you tell them up front, it's going to be much better for you and they're going to respect you. Hopefully, more better for doing that. That way they know, okay, they can't drive or do anything. It's understandable. So do plan for alternative transportation if you have to. Discuss your seizure triggers. What kind of triggers, if any, with your day, such as flashing lights, like strobe lights, things like that, or lack of sleep, and plan activities accordingly. Caffeine is a trigger, high noise, headaches, whatever that could cause you to go into a seizure, possibly. Your medication and side effects. So be aware of that medication can have side effects, which we all know that, and discuss these with your partner if necessary, or your date, or whoever you're with. Even if you're a group of friends, if you're with a group of friends, that's great, and they understand what's going on, they know how to take care of you. Wonderful. Emotional well-being. That's a big one, obviously. So epilepsy can impact mental health, so prioritize open communication and consider seeking professional support if needed. All right. So if you need help, go seek professional support. This video is not going to be as long as my other ones. Give me 1 second here. Sorry about that. Now, mind you, this is for information purposes only. This is not for medical purposes or anything like that. It's just informational purposes that I'm passed on to you if you want to, how to go on dates and see like that. I'm no way a professional date maker anyway, or date, what do you call it, matchmaker. Emotional well-being. Epilepsy can impact mental health, so prioritize open communication and consider seeking professional support if needed. Obviously, if you need help or whatever, there's plenty of resources out there. Maybe not as much as available as there used to be, but there are with all this crazy world today. If you want to, start building a healthy relationship with that person, focus on shared interests. Remember that epilepsy is just one aspect of your life. You still have a normal life with epilepsy, whether you believe it or not. You can. You just have to do things differently, maybe, possibly. You may not like it, and it's not working, and it's not going fast enough for you, but just don't give up. Stay strong, purple epilepsy warriors. All right, all you guys out there, and ladies and gentlemen. So remember that epilepsy is just one aspect of your life. Build your relationship, shared hobbies, values, and dreams. Maintain a healthy lifestyle as possible. A balanced diet, regular sleep, obviously. Obviously, myself, I never I try to get regular sleep, but oh my goodness, I just toss and turn and stuff. I myself have nocturnal seizures. I've had three so far, but they've been under control for 2 years so far. I think this last one almost killed me. I didn't come to until the next day after so many hours. I was on a ventilator. But anyways, a balanced diet, regular sleep, and stress management. Stress is a big thing for a lot of us, because it's very traumatic for us. Like, when am I going to have that next seizure? When is it going to happen? What's going on? Why did this happen to me? Like, mine didn't happen until 48. So, and a lot of seizures can be hereditary from family members down the line, maybe, with blood related, obviously. So, mine, I have no idea where mine came from. I really don't know. It's hard to say. So, plan for the future. Discuss your long term goals and how epilepsy might impact them. You know, regular sleep and stress management can help manage seizures and improve overall well being. So, and I know for some people, like I said about diet, a lot of people with epilepsy, I've seen people that try the keto diets, and all those keto diets are very hard to stay to. So, just one more thing, an important reminder: if someone is not understanding or supportive of your epilepsy, they may not be the right partner for you. You deserve someone who values and respects for who you are. So, respect yourself. All right. If they can't respect you, then there's no reason to go on another date with them at all. They just ignoring that and don't understand that. But if they're willing to understand and listen to you and tell them what's going on with epilepsy and how you got it or received it, not just epilepsy, because there are seizures disorders also. There are 40 plus different types of seizures out there. And yes, there are some associated with epilepsy, but not all of us have epilepsy. Some just have just a seizure of some type, and it's not associated with epilepsy at all. But this is my brain wreck. Like I said, I don't have my bandana on today, but you can see my nice bald head here. Uh, anyways, well, that's what happens as you get to 50, I guess. So, anyways, thanks for watching my brain wreck. I appreciate each and every one of you. Stay strong, my fellow warriors, purple warriors. I did think about maybe getting an epilepsy tattoo sometime. Not sure when, but not sure when I'm going to put it. But we'll see. Not exactly. But right here. No, I'm kidding. Probably like I have, let me see. Right here somewhere on here. I don't know. Right there. I mean, I can put, I don't know. Like not there, I guess, but maybe there. Who knows? Right here. Maybe on the side right here. Who knows? Hard to say. Anyways, thanks for watching. So those are just some things to take in consideration for epilepsy and dating. Be upfront with them. Tell them the truth right up front. Even though, and they say, "I'm sorry, I can't go on with something like that." And then say, "Okay, I mean that person was not meant for you or anything." Just respect yourself. All right. Always respect yourself. Remember, you define yourself. Nobody else does. So you guys have a great day. Be seizure free as long as possible, or be seizure free for the rest of your life. So strike strong, my purple warriors. You have a great day. This has been my brain wreck.